Welcome back to 30 at 6. Cecil County Council President Joyce Bowlby will be retiring in December. So we've invited her into the studio to talk about and give a look back on the past 4 years. Councilwoman, thank you for being here.
Thank you so much, Allison. Thank you for inviting me.
Of course. So before you were appointed in 2013 and then elected in 2014, you had a career in customer service and sales with Gore.
That's correct.
What led you to public service?
I've always been in public service in the background. Even when I worked full-time, I've been on a lot of boards and commissions throughout my stay, my 40 years here in Cecil County. I was very active in the Leeds PTA. I've been involved in the Arts Council, in the Chamber of Commerce. So I've always kind of had my hand in it. My husband always said, don't run for public office. You can get more done behind the scenes. But I'll tell you a little story. The night that Terry was elected, we were at the college when the votes were coming in and she won. And driving home, he said to me, I think you should take her seat.
Oh, he changed his mind.
I said, you haven't been drinking. Are you okay? And he said, no, you're the right person for the job. So that's why I applied, and Terry appointed me to that position. And then I ran to validate her choice because I thought that was really important.
Yeah.
And that's how I got into politics.
What would you say have been the highlights of the past 4 years?
The highlights of the past 4 years are the technical high school, #1. I fought for that before I was on council, and I am so thrilled that we have the Cecil building to use as the technical high school. Seeing sewer pipes being put down Route 40 is another very exciting thing for me. I remember many years ago when Oakley Sumter was on the board of commissioners then. I was working with the commissioners to try to get that passed through, but it never quite made it. So that's something that's really important to me. I'm thrilled with the Calvert Park. I think it's a tremendous addition to Cecil County, and it's something that will be used for years and years to come. I look at the money that we invest in the county, and I use the word invest because that's what we do, as being really important for the future. And the more we can do to engage our young people, to keep them off of drugs, the more excited I am.
What does it take, do you think, to be the council president?
Patience. The art of listening is really critical. You have to be able to balance the needs of whomever is presenting an issue with the overall picture and try to make a conscious and good decision on what they're asking. The council president really just runs the meetings and directs the activities.
Right.
So it's not a difficult job, but it's a job that, like I say, requires patience. And I've learned, if you listen to tapes of the council meetings, you don't hear me say a lot.
Right.
And I do that deliberately. I try to stay, I have an opinion and I have a vote, but throughout the process, throughout the discussions, I try to stay as neutral as possible, not to influence any of the council members away from the decisions that they want to make.
What advice would you give to your successors?
Be patient and listen. I think that it's really important to understand that it's not about you. It's about the citizens, it's about the agenda, and it's about the other council members. And if they can keep that in mind, there's no need to talk for the sake of talking. There's no need to expand on issues that maybe don't necessarily need to be discussed. You can open a can of worms sometimes doing that.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And so I think that, like I say, and developing a camaraderie with all the council. We all get along really well.
Right.
And I think that's really important. And the other thing that I had going for me was Alan's agenda and my agenda for the county were pretty much aligned.
Right.
And when we had his first budget, I looked at the budget and I said, it's the first time the budget's been balanced. We're not taking from the rainy day fund. This is a good budget. some council members felt that they had to cut from it
Just for the sake of.
for the sake of cutting from it because they felt that was their job. And I said, I don't think so. I think this is a really good budget. And as you know, we didn't vote on the budget, so
Right.
it reverted back to, well, we didn't get a vote. And so it went back to Alan intact. And so I got the budget that I wanted, which was not planned that way, but I'm really glad it worked out that way.
So what's next for you?
Oh, there's a couple of things. I still sit on a lot of boards and commissions. I sit on the CASA board, which is the court-appointed child advocates, and they've asked me to be president of that board, and I've said yes. I've also been approached by the Women's Auxiliary at the hospital, and I said to them, not this year. I need to have some time.
Right.
I sit on the board of Chimes Delaware, and I don't know if you're familiar with Chimes.
It's well,
you want me to talk about
sure.
it? It's an organization that houses, if need be. They have group housing, but they train and employ the developmentally disabled. And I've sat on that board for a very long time. It's a very worthwhile organization, and it's actually based out of Baltimore.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes, but I sit on the Metro Delaware board.
Right.
I've been invited to come back to the Government Relations Committee of the Chamber, and I chaired that for 15 years. So I'll be probably doing that again. And I've also been invited to be on the Cecil Business Leaders Board. So I think I'll stay busy.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Okay, well, thank you so much for being here.
Oh, well, thank you so much for having me. And I just would like to thank all of the citizens of Cecil County for their support of me and for the belief that I'm doing a good job. Thank you so much.
Of course. Retiring Councilwoman and Council President Joyce Bowlesby. Thanks so much.
Thank you.